Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel Adventure SG. So let's do another interesting word problem on whole numbers. For that, let's read the question first. Mr. Tan bought 208 basketball and tennis racket altogether. He paid a total of $3,050. Each basketball cost $14 and each tennis racket cost $20. How many basketball did Mr. Tan buy? That's the part A of the question. And part B is how many tennis racket did Mr. Tan buy? So basically what we need to find out is out of 208 sports item which Mr. Tan has bought, how many were basketball and how many were tennis rackets, right? And we also know that the total amount he paid for 208 sports item was $3,050, and we also know the cost of one basketball, which is $14, and one tennis racket, which is $20. Okay, so we can have a basketball here. So this is my one basketball, okay, and its cost is $14. And this is, let's say, our one tennis racket. My drawing is really bad. So this is one tennis racket, okay, and its cost is how much? $20, right? Okay, now these kind of questions we usually solve, the fastest way to solve is using the assumption method. Some of the students like to use guess and check, but it's quite a lengthy way, so I would suggest that you always use assumption method for these kind of question. For those who are new to it, I'm writing the name. It's called assumption method, okay, and as the name suggests, right, we need to assume something. Okay, so what we are going to assume here is that, let's say Mr. Tan bought all the sports item, right? 208 items that he has bought were tennis rackets. Okay, so let's do that. So let's assume Mr. Tan bought all the sports item, like 208 what tennis rackets. Okay, so this is our assumption, that let's say all of the sports item that he has bought were tennis rackets, right? So let's say if he would have done that, how much he would have paid for these 28 tennis rackets, right? So he would have paid 20 times 208, because the cost of one racket is 20, right? So let's calculate the cost of 208 tennis rackets. It will be equal to 208 times 20, which will be $4,160. Okay, that means if he would have bought 208 tennis rackets, right, all those sports items as the tennis rackets, he would have paid $4,160. But in reality he had paid only $3,050. Why? Obviously because we have assumed that all the items were tennis racket, and which costs more? The cost of one tennis racket is more than the cost of one basketball, right? And since we have assumed that all of them were tennis rackets, so obviously the cost will be more. It will cost him more, right? Now let's find out the difference between what he actually paid and what he would have paid if all were tennis rackets. So difference in the cost would be, see, the difference in cost would be how much? It will be $4,160 minus $3,050. That will give me $1,110, right? Okay, now what is the difference in the cost of one basketball and one tennis racket? I will come to this later, that why we are finding this, but let's first find out what is the difference in the cost of one basketball and one tennis racket. So what's the difference? So one tennis racket is $20 and one basketball is $14. So obviously the difference is $6, right? That means what? That means for every basketball which we have assumed that it is a tennis racket, we are paying $6 more, right? Because here we have assumed that all of them were tennis rackets, but in reality there were few basketball and few tennis rackets, right? So that means for all the basketballs which we have assumed that it is a tennis racket, we are paying $6 more. And that way, in total, how much we have paid more? $1,110, right? In total, since we have assumed that all of them were tennis rackets, obviously we have to pay more. How much more? $1,110. And for every basketball which we have assumed as the tennis racket, we paid $6 more. That means what? That means if we divide this total difference in the cost by 6, right, which is the difference in the cost of one basketball and one tennis racket, right, it will give me the total number of basketballs, right? It will give me the total number of basketballs. So let's find out. So total number of basketballs, obviously, which Mr. Tan has bought, will be how much? It will be the extra total. What is the cost he would have paid if they were all tennis rackets, right? So this one divided by the extra cost of buying one tennis racket, so which will give me 185. That means Mr. Tan had bought 185 basketballs, and since we know the total number of tennis items he bought is 208, we can easily find out what is the total number of tennis rackets he has bought, which is total number of tennis rackets were how many? It's pretty straightforward. It is 208 minus 185. That will give me 23. Okay, that means Mr. Tan had bought 185 basketball, which is your part A, and he has bought 23 tennis rackets, which answers your part B. So let's write our answer quickly. So part A is 185 and part B is 23. Okay, so hope you like the solution of this question. Keep watching and don't forget to subscribe my channel. Thank you.